What funny family story do you now realize was actually kind of messed up? My Uncle Rusty was always the fun uncle who'd entertain all the kids. He was this larger-than-life guy who could do magic tricks and always had candy in his pockets. All the neighborhood kids loved him. He wasn't married and didn't have kids of his own, so he'd basically adopt all of us for the day. One particular barbecue stands out because of what happened with my little cousin Arya. She was maybe 4 at the time and super shy around everyone except me. She followed me everywhere that day, which was kind of annoying because I was trying to hang out with the older kids. So Uncle Rusty announces he's going to do this new magic trick, and all the kids gather around. I remember being super excited because his tricks were always amazing. He asks for a volunteer and picks Arya, which surprised me because she was so shy. But she went up all excited. The trick was supposed to be him making a quarter disappear and then pulling it out of her ear. Pretty standard stuff. But what happened next is the funny story my family cannot stop telling. When Uncle Rusty reached toward Arya's ear, she freaked out. Like full-on screaming, crying, trying to run away. My aunt had to come grab her while everyone was laughing because they thought she was just being dramatic. Uncle Rusty played it up, acting all offended, which made all the adults laugh even harder. The next part is what my family thinks is hilarious. Uncle Rusty decided to get revenge on Arya for ruining his trick. Every time she'd calm down, he'd slowly approach her with a quarter, and she'd start screaming again. This went on all day. By the end of the barbecue, he just had to pull a quarter from his pocket and hold it up, and she'd burst into tears. My parents, aunts, uncles, they were literally crying from laughing so hard. They kept saying how funny it was that she was so scared of something so harmless. This became Uncle Rusty's bit with Arya. At every family gathering after that, he'd pull out a quarter and wave it at her, and everyone would crack up when she'd get upset. I remember one Thanksgiving when I was about 12. Arya was hiding under the dining room table before dinner. I crawled under there to see what was up, and she whispered that she was hiding from Uncle Rusty because she knew he'd do the quarter thing again. She was literally shaking, and I remember thinking it was kind of weird how scared she still was. I told her she was being a baby, which makes me feel terrible now. At Christmas that same year, Uncle Rusty took it to another level. He wrapped a small box for Arya, and when she opened it, there were like 50 quarters inside. She dropped the box and ran crying from the room while all the adults howled with laughter. My mom still brings this up as the funniest Christmas moment ever. When Arya turned 10, her parents threw her this big birthday party with a magician. As soon as the magician started pulling coins out for tricks, Arya had a complete meltdown. Everyone thought it was so funny that she was still doing this bit. The magician was confused, but Uncle Rusty filled him in, and even he started incorporating quarters into all his tricks specifically to scare Arya. A grown adult professional deliberately terrifying a child on her birthday, and everyone thought it was comedy gold. I was too young to really process it then, but looking back now I'm like, we were literally traumatizing this little girl for years and treating it like a hilarious joke, and the adults were encouraging it? The story got darker when I was home last month helping my mom clean out some old photo albums. We found pictures from those barbecues, and there was one of Arya crying while Uncle Rusty held a quarter near her. My mom was like, OMG, remember how funny that was? And I just couldn't laugh. I asked Mom if she ever wondered why Arya was so terrified that first time, and Mom just shrugged and said, kids are weird, but I couldn't stop thinking about it. So I called Arya. We're not super close, but we follow each other on social media. I asked her if she remembered the quarter trick, and if she knew why she was so scared. There was this long pause on the phone. Then she told me something that made my stomach drop. The night before that barbecue, she'd been at home watching TV with her dad, my Uncle Wade. They were watching this crime show. YTF was a for yo watching that, where someone tortured people by putting coins in boiling water and then pressing them against the victim's skin. She said when Uncle Rusty reached for her ear with the quarter, she thought he was going to burn her. She thought that's what the trick was, that he was going to hurt her with the coin, and no one ever asked her why she was scared. They just thought it was hilarious that she was terrified. For years, this little girl thought at any moment her uncle might burn her with a coin, and we all laughed at her terror, every single time.